Let's watch some videos together quickly.
We threw the toughest, meanest, most ridiculous challenges at them.
You know what we're talking about yet?
To bring to you the 4-season Giver gloves. The best damn gloves ever.
No.
We've combined synthetic technologies and premium leather to ensure comfort, function, practicality, warmth, and aesthetics.
Comfort, function, practicality, warmth and aesthetics. They're not comfortable. They don't really function. They're gloves, so they're practical because you put them on your hands. So, yeah, I guess they're practical. Warmth. And aesthetics? Yeah, okay, I've got no problem with the aesthetics.
You can grab a burning log,
This is true, you can grab a burning log. I have actually done this.
or even handle dry ice
Why would you handle dry ice?
without damaging the gloves, or, more importantly, your hands.
I have to admit, and we'll change angle in a second, that when these gloves came out, I didn't get them on Kickstarter, I actually went and bought them. I was sold by the marketing hype. Marketing is a powerful tool. Let's roll the credits and then we'll sit and talk about this a little bit more. It's going to be pretty interesting. So, we're talking about gloves. We're talking about Giver gloves specifically. Giver, the makers of the best damn glove ever. We've got two pairs. These, which are the Frontier mittens, and these, which are the gloves. I'll go through and I'll tell you a story. You know, premium leather for both pairs, made in Pakistan and then finished in Wyoming. D-links, so you can actually clip them together, hang them up. Cuff to stop the snow coming in. You got a leather pull tab, so when you're putting them on, you pull on the tab so to not, helps when I put the right glove on. So you can pull them on and off easily. Snow tab, it's great. They're gloves. Boxing gloves. These, both pairs were a real pain in the ass to get. These mittens are $139 US. And these have got the extra wax treatment on them. I remember trying to get these gloves because I tried to get them off of Giver and I couldn't get them because they didn't ship to Canada. Considering they're in America, you'd think they'd be able to ship the best damn gloves to Canada. Leather, thin shellac on the inside. There's a reflective barrier in them as well. And you can handle dry ice in them. Dry ice, which, let's look at it, minus 109F, which is minus 78 degrees Celsius. And these are the other pair that I got. I grabbed two pairs. These are the 4-season gloves, 119 US. I think it's like $8 to have the wax put on them or something, so it's a little bit of premium. Let me work it out. Premium leather cowhide exterior, 100% waterproof hip horror membrane on the inside, reflective heat shield, thin shellac layer, and a special design for dexterity function and protection from the elements. Wrist cuff, the red thing, with a keystone thumb design. I don't know what a keystone thumb design is, but I'm assuming it's the way the thumbs are actually built. Steel D-ring for leash storage, 3 initials, so it's $8, but you can get them waxed. Made in Pakistan, finished in Jackson, Wyoming. Wax leather protection, which is not a waterproof membrane. Ding, ding, ding. Right. That's all the details you need on these. They're a pain in the ass to get. I can't remember if I got them from Moose Jaw or if I got them from a different retailer, Huckberry or something, because you couldn't get them from Giver. So it was a bit of a run round to get them, and it took me a while. Did all of the sizing stuff, and I was stoked. Currently the weather outside is this, and it's getting colder tonight. I also have a corgi, so I have to go out and walk. I also snowboard, I play with trains outside in the winter, you know, you have to shovel snow. And you want a decent pair of gloves, right? So I got 2 pairs. The reason why I got the mittens is because I had a pair of mittens when I was snowboarding on dry slope in Brentwood in England, in Essex, England. I had a pair of, I think they were called fish mittens, which are actually made from recycled tyres, and they had just a fleece liner in them. I remember when I was snowboarding, it was great because you couldn't catch your fingers on the Dendex, which is what the slopes are made out of, and you can't rip a finger off. And they did have a finger, they had a fag finger, so you could smoke without taking your gloves off. I really loved those mittens. They were super sweaty because they were made from car tyres. And this is like way back when. This is like in the 2000s. Those gloves stank. And weirdly, you know, if I look at these gloves, these do the same. They don't smell. And I dry them out. I don't put them on the radiator. I let them air out and dry. But Giver says they're the best damn gloves ever. They're not. They're shit. They are crap. Today, I had to go and warm my car up. So I had to walk about a block to get to my car in these gloves, and it's -25. Start my car so it warms up and defrosts a little bit, and get my ice scraper and scrape the windscreen off. So it's a 2-minute walk to the car, start it, get my scraper, couple of minutes to scrape the windscreen, and my hands were cold. In these leather gloves with a thin shellac layer, a reflective heat barrier. My hands were cold in these, and they make your hands look huge. Like, they're big gloves. They're not small gloves. They make your hands look much, much bigger. These should be really good gloves. You can handle dry ice without protecting the gloves or your hands. Well, sorry, without damaging the gloves or your hands. Then why can't they keep my hands warm for 3 minutes outside at -25? Now, it could be a sizing problem. Fine. You have mittens. You have 2 options. These are slightly better than those. Slightly. These gloves give about as much protection as a pair of thin fleece gloves or a small thin pair of woolen gloves. These gloves are not the best gloves ever. I've been snowboarding in these, and I've had my girlfriend go out and cross country ski in these and these. And she switches back. To these. She skis in these. These are leather gloves with a thermalite inner layer on. They're super thin, they're tiny, they're old and they're worn, and these are actually warmer than a $130, $140 pair of gloves. And these are dirt cheap, like these are old. It's actually been to a point where, no joke, in the car I had these on, and I was sitting on my hands with the heat warmer on to keep my hands warm. You shouldn't have to do that. it's only minus 25. And you can handle dry ice without damaging the gloves or your hands. And these are 4-season gloves. Now, 4-season gloves like a 4-season 10. Fine. So they're not meant to keep your hands like super, super warm, but with thin shell like you'd think they would. And it is, you know, minus 25, probably maybe now feels like minus 30. So a short period of time, I'd expect my hands to stay warm. And I expect them, you know, dry. Yes, they are waterproof. They are good. I expect my hands to stay warmer than they actually would. Now let's go with, all right, Jeremy, you're going to the extreme. It's a 4-season glove, so they're only good till about minus 5, minus 10, if you look at like sleeping bags and think about 4 seasons. No, they're crap at minus 5, minus 10. They don't keep your hands warm. Now, I thought it was just me. And this is 40 gram thin shell as well. I thought it was just me, so I actually gave these gloves to my neighbour who works in the film industry. And you know, he has to go set up cables and stuff, and he likes fingered gloves. And he's outside doing stuff. And I lent them to him at the end of summer, when it was, you know, autumn, when it was just starting to get cold. It wasn't cold, but you know, it was cold enough that you wanted to put a pair of gloves on to go do stuff. He gave them back. I actually gave him the gloves because I don't like them that much. He gave them back to me. There's cold spots on most of the fingers. They're not worth the money. And then you go look at the reviews, and I did make a note of this because it was fun. I'll put some up on the screen. Like, these gloves have a lot of good reviews, but the reviews going down on them is silly. So 4.5 on, like they've got like 4 or 5 star reviews, like, you know, 1,000 reviews on their website, but 200 of those are negative on their own website of 3 stars or below. And if these are the best damn gloves ever, you'd expect it to be a little bit higher than that. And again, I bought into the hype, and you should never believe the hype. The gloves, I admit, do wear well. I want to say wear, I mean the wear and tear. You know, I've had these out at the track and the club, and I use them for shoveling mainly because, you know, the mittens are warmer because your fingers are together. The mittens are always going to be warmer than fingered gloves. So these are my shoveling gloves to go outside and to shovel snow. They're really expensive shoveling gloves. You want them to be everything gloves. I took them out yesterday, and yesterday it was like minus 12, something like that. Took the dog for a walk at lunchtime. My hands weren't cold in these, excuse me. They weren't cold. They were sweaty, which can make them cold over a period of time. And if you do wear these doing exercise or anything, and you know, these guys are like backcountry ski guys and snowboarders and real hardcore outdoors in Jackson, Wyoming, I'd expect these to perform better and to really live up to the standard and the hype of what they are selling. They look nice. I like, out of the 2 pairs of gloves, these are my favourite. Embossed Giver logo, the steel D-ring, the little Giver thing here, and the snow cuff. You know, these are good gloves, but they're not warm over a long period of time. Snowboarding in these, I actually went and bought another pair of gloves because my hands were either too sweaty, and they're meant to breathe, or yeah, I think the reason why I bought a pair of Burton gloves. I bought a pair of Burtons because like 3 hours in these, I couldn't wear them anymore. They don't, like, they're meant to breathe, but they don't breathe. You know, it should, but it doesn't. And exercise, and I'm not even holding poles like I'm skiing. I'm just snowboarding downs. You know, so the worst thing is doing up your bindings when you get off a ski lift and then go for a rip. But these are better than the gloves. And The other time I went snowboarding, I threw these on because I'm like, do you know what? These are going to be much better for doing up bindings, because mittens aren't exactly the best. And I had my buttons in my pockets. These lasted one run. I think I wanted to switch my gloves by the time I got to the top of the chairlift, and it was a 10-minute chairlift, just sort of sitting in the snow outside in the elements. These didn't keep my hands warm at all. And you see videos from their website of people snowboarding, whatever, in their gloves. And I'm like, what are you wearing under the gloves to keep your hands warm? Because you're not just wearing these, because these aren't going to do it. But it's a shame, because I really wanted to love Giver gloves. I really did. And there's a lot of videos out there of people singing their praises. There really is, but they're wrong. If you look at the reviews, too tight, don't keep my hands warm, blah blah blah. Go look, like when you buy anything, look at the negative reviews. And when I was buying them, there weren't any reviews because they were brand new. They'd done a Kickstarter or whatever it was, and I'd missed it, and I saw their advertising campaign. I'm like, do you know what? Leather gloves, they're great. They're sturdy, they're bomb-proof, and what you're saying, dry ice, holding a log, and I have picked up a log in them, and I'm fine. You pick up a log, move it around, not too worried. But I wouldn't get either of those pairs of gloves and put dry ice on my hand for any period of time. You see them putting their hands in boiling water. I'm not going to try that either. My gloves, I could go boil some water now, put my hands in them, but if they don't keep my hands warm from the cold, especially the Four Seasons, I'm pretty sure they're not going to keep my hands away from the warm either, even with a reflective barrier. So it just comes down to, I'm a bit saddened and a bit disappointed, and I also spent a shit ton of money, and I've had these for a while. It's not like I just bought them and they're wow, excuse the email. It's not like I've just bought them. I've had these for I had them over last winter as well, and I got them and I was disappointed. I really wanted to do a video on them, and I was like, okay, maybe they need a bit more bedding in, you know, pack down, whatever. Yeah, I think the only way to actually keep my hands warm would be to somehow get this glove on top of this glove, and then I'd be fine. You wouldn't be able to do anything, but I think that's the only way I could actually do it. Also, there's a difference in colour between the leather. I know leather has different things, but like I prefer this colour. But whatever. If you look at the mittens, like I'm bouncing all over the place today. It's Friday and I'm tired. Like the mittens, like they've got reinforcement where they need reinforcement. You know, they're not showing wear. I've been out to the club in these, and you know, I went to run the train, like, you know, in the snow. But I can't trust these. They're rubbish. These I trust a little bit more because my fingers are together, like I said, and I can put on a pair of like thin fleece gloves underneath these. Probably will give me a little bit more warmth and a little bit more protection. But yeah, Giver gloves. No, don't waste your money. Like, some of the reviews have said, especially about the Four Season gloves, is they give about as much protection as dollar store fleece gloves. That's how good they actually are. Whether that's a sizing problem, whether that's a manufacturing problem, or what, I don't know. But don't buy Giver gloves because they're absolutely rubbish. And on that sad note, weirdly, I have to go shovel some snow. So stay warm and take care of yourselves. Peace.